happy to have all of you here. Welcome to our new logo unveiling. I'm 7th generation in the Birla family. Been at the company for the last 11 years. Educated in the finance stream. Since the last 11 years was chairman and managing director or CMD of Birla Precision, somewhere from 2014 till April of last year. After 11 years, I stepped down from managing director and have retained the chairman post. And of course, Mr. Ravinder Prem has come as MD. In addition to Birla Precision, I'm also on the board of Birla Brothers, which is a family investment vehicle for different branches of the Birla family, as well as that pools in the family money and invests in different areas. So that's what I do, and happy to pass on the managing director role to Ravi. Go ahead.
Thanks, Vedant. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for coming here. It's been a really pleasure to have all of you here. I'm Ravi Prem. I'm a managing director for Birla Precision Technologies. Comes with a close to 40-year experience into the domain expertise of a cutting tool and industrial automation. So, more than happy to answer anything which you would like to know.
So a little bit about the logo, you want to hear?
Yeah, a little bit about the logo first.
So a little bit about the logo. So we've had a logo BPT. If anyone, I don't know if you saw the previous logo, but it was a logo which was in existence for quite some time. The company is a 90-year-old company, started in 1937, consisting of various divisions in the engineering and auto component and hydraulic component space. We do in the engineering side of things, we do different sort of cutting tools, tool rollers, machine tool accessories. So recently we were of the thought process that it's time for the company to have a new look, a new face, a new image, keeping in line with moving with the global standard, having more precision in our engineering. We've invested in a couple of new lines and got the factories done with a bit of a facelift. And of course, needless to mention, there's a new managing director in place. So we thought it's the right time to have a new logo which shows a refreshed commitment to the legacy. And if you see the motto, the tagline below the logo, it's forward together. Because I think that's what, how we would like to go take all our, सबको साथ में जाना है. We want सबको मिलके जाना है. All our stakeholders, whether it's our dealers, all of which are gathered in the neighboring room, and as well as all our employees, our shareholders, other stakeholders. We want everybody to come together and move ahead together. And if you see some couple of things about the logo, so number one, it's red in color. Red, if you see in India, is always a symbol of auspiciousness. Even in Diwali, हम सब जो स्वास्तिक बनाते हैं, the diary, and is always with red. And red is always, of course, very auspicious. You see many times, in pujas, we always ask the ladies of the house to wear red and sit in the pujas, even in Devi pujas. And of course, the color of our blood is red. So, red shows without blood there's nothing. Without blood circulation there's nothing. Without heart there's nothing. So, red symbolizes life, vitality, vibrancy. So, which is why we chose the color red. Then, if you see the shape of the logo, it is you can gently notice that it's the shape of a bee. There's a very subtle bee standing for Birla. As well as if you see, there's the second thing about the logo is it's an arrow, right? If you see there's a top part and bottom part of the logo, which is kind of like two arrows which are going ahead. And a third thing that you can see about the logo is, if I divide the logo again into top and bottom, the top part of the bee is sloping down and the bottom part of the logo is sloping up. Which, if you extend both those lines, somewhere they will intersect, right? Because they are pointing towards each other. So that again shows, forward together. Which is because at some point the lines drawn tangentially on both the sides of the logo will meet, and then they'll keep extending to infinity. So forward together, both the lines are meeting. So that's a little bit about the logo. And I think in general it shows, if you just look at the logo just to see how it speaks to you, I think it shows a lot of, it packs a punch, it shows energy, it shows vibrancy, and it shows a lot of life and movement, which is what we want to portray.
It's an amazing logo, a brilliant performance, 90 years of legacy is not a small thing, it speaks a lot about Birla. So my question is that in the past 3 years, I suppose, I've just seen some reports, there's a lot to be desired. So could you tell us how you're going to take on this responsibility and actually deliver the kind of promise that the logo actually deserves. The brilliant logo will speak a lot about you, but your performance, your kind of capacity, your kind of precision tools, and the utilization of the factories. How are you going to upgrade the factories? Are you going to use robotics, AI? How it is going to work? And how going forward for the next 3 years, could you say something about it?
I think the brand logo is not only confined to the products. This is a company logo, right? And when we talk about Forward Together, it's talk about the entire ecosystem around. It's not only related to the people, those who are associated with the manufacturing ecosystem or a sales ecosystem, but even society at large. So sustainability is something which also being addressed through this. Coming back to the factories and the product portfolio, we are in the era where it's not something where we talk about the Western world will influence us, right? It is the India which is growing and have the technology portfolio which we are imbibing already into the product lines. There are products which are now coming up with a more of an application-oriented approach because India economy, the way it is growing, is no more now the automotive-focused manufacturing, right? You talk about the 3C which is coming up, we talk about aerospace, medical, defense. We were always importing defense products. We are now today exporting defense products. So all these opportunities open up the lot of opportunity area for us as a company, and certainly we are equipping ourselves to get into a manufacturing processes, rather setting up the entire ecosystem, which will help us and facilitate to encash these opportunities.
So how are you your plans to revive your factories which are already there? I suppose there are 5. There's in Aurangabad and so many other places.
So yeah, you know, let's not forget this is the company which has a legacy of 90 years. Obviously, it also brings the aged plant and machinery, but does not mean that the company has not done any modernizations. We have to catch up the speed of the time. So today we are talking about artificial intelligence, data-driven manufacturing. So today we talk about SAP HANA is something which we have implemented. CRM for the sales platform automations which we have done. There are MES system which we are launching now in the company so that we will have the complete manufacturing ecosystem is being seen. All new inductions of the machines which are happening are state of art. So this is something which I will not say is even optional to us, right? If we need to be a really global player, we need to compete at that platform with that kind of a technology. We are also heavily focusing on our internal design and development, wherein we are saying that all product portfolio which we are building should come the design from us. It is not someone's print we are printing. So it will be our print which will be printing for building nation, which is in line with what Mr. Prime Minister Modi has said, that make in India. I will not say it's only make in India, it's even made for global. So that's what we are living with.
And for all this, we need investments. You also mentioned you are putting some investments into the business. So could you elaborate a little more on the investments? How much investment, where is it going, and how is it going? I mean, there must be some marketing, there must be something on the technology, there must be something on upgradation or acquiring new factories or putting up new factories.
Thank you. I think, since we are a listed company, I will not disclose numbers to it, but certainly I will try to tell you what exactly we are trying to do. There are business verticals which are being identified as a growth driver for the company. So you have the legacy cutting tool portfolio that's been upgraded and getting into an application-based portfolio. There's a tool holder business which is which was earlier a partnership with the Kenamatal, and now it is 100% owned by us. Makes the tool holding systems for automotive aerospace. We are talking about now making the smart tool holders, which means they can be integrated to the machines, which will be able to sense what kind of a load, torque, number of cycles it is repeating, more on a technology side. Precision machining business, we are talking about absolutely state-of-art facility which we are upgrading as we speak. We have certifications from the big global players, and they come up with the long-term contracts with us, and which means if you need to meet their requirement, it has to be a multiple of crores investments, which is already in pipeline. Company is in a good progressing stage today, and I don't think that is a concern for us as we speak. With regards to power tool accessories, that's our youngest plant within a company where the brand Birla Tool is being manufactured now. Government of India is talking heavily on infra side, and infra is heavily dependent on construction equipment, and that's where the product portfolio we are building there. We started with the 3 product line which has been doing really good for us, and it will have obviously a natural forward integrations to those product lines.
Mr. Vedant here. Vedant, it's my privilege and it's honored and blessed that I'm interacting with the 90-year legacy, Mr. Vedant Birla. So I saw your today's what you gave today speech and all. One thing I saw that you were totally rooted the tradition. You're carrying tradition with you. You're carrying legacy band that's there. That even lot of things were there. I want to know that all this behind your past that you're carrying, how you look at in future at Birla.
So I think Mr. Prem already spoke about it, that because of being a listed company, there's a limited detailing or granularity that we can go to in terms of future guidance. But I think safe to say that there is a bunch of investments that we have planned. We were recently in a company off-site meeting to make a LTP long-term plan for our next 3-year strategy. So unfortunately cannot share most of those details, but what I said, if you heard me in the neighboring room, is that we have chosen 4 or 5 products which will be first time manufacturing in India, which are totally Atmanirbhar Bharat Modi, mission of Mr. Modi, of Narendra Modi ji, our Prime Minister. We are focusing on those things so that how can India be self-reliant and do technologies for the first time, which has not ever been done before. And if you heard me speak, that's a legacy that I'm coming with, because my grandfather Shri Ashok Birla had 6 or 7 firsts to his name, right? Whether it's Birla Yamaha, Birla 3M, Birla Kennametal, etc., etc. Even the mutual fund industry, he was the first person to bring mutual funds to India, which was a joint venture with Warburg, Birla Warburg. So I think keeping in line with the inspiration that we get from him, we thought that, okay, what technologies can be brought to India that are not there today. Now India is very mature as an economy, so it's not that there are 100 things that you can get which are not here. But there are still some things which you can say to some extent are being imported specifically from low-cost countries, where India is not able to make that leap in commercializing the economics of that particular product profile, right? And if I give you a little bit more of a hint on that, this is related to, I would say, the construction or sector, or the hardware sector. So in that space, we are thinking of playing and keeping in line with our core. We are not going into some complete different adjacency, but keeping in line with our core, number one. Number two, what is something which has not been done in India before, which is a need for India to become self-reliant on. And number three, something which is little bit in the infrastructure construction sector, which we can see next 20 years, India is going to boom in infrastructure. We always say, masti bhi nahi shuru hui hai in India, because infrastructure use have so much boom happening in this country in all the different types of infrastructure, where you're always going to need toolings and accessories related to that space. So something in that is what we are planning.
Today, one thing I'll be taking from your golden line of yours, आत्मा रो के भी निर्भर होना पड़ता है. That is one thing really says it all. So that's something really good about it. Thank you.
My question to both of you around current climate situation worldwide. So most of the cutting tool manufacturers, even the end customers, are looking the rise of indexables or maybe the rise of CBLs are increased. It's an alternative option because the cutting tool prices are skyrocketing. Now hence, since your logo says the forward together, is there anything which you are planning to address this current scenario which will be hitting the cutting tool industry in coming time?
Thank you. I think this is a very sensitive topic. Carbide, tungsten carbide. Just take a minute to take you back what exactly this means. If most of the people may not be aware of this. Tungsten is mostly used for warfares, right? And the second biggest application of that is now getting into the batteries and solar. So cutting tool is becoming now the tertiary consumer of a tungsten. And because of that, 80-85% of the tungsten is being produced, mines are in China. And they are one which is controlling it. And India per se, looking at the manufacturing space which we are talking about, ceramic is one which is coming up in a big way. Polycrystalline diamond is another way of looking at it. And let me also tell you, high-speed steel, which is most neglected because so-called in a fancy terms, people wanted to use carbide. Your machines may not be capable of taking carbide. So we have already launched a product portfolio called polymetallurgy with the advanced microgeometries which will help and cater to these requirements. Needless to say, when the ultra mode machines are coming, will require the tooling technologies which can cater to the higher speed and speed.
So this particular tooling industry is dominated by few global player, I can say. Though BPTL is a global player, but two versus player, I can say. So what's your strategy to strengthen your market share with that particular niche market? And how do you like to you said that you are going to strengthen the entire ecosystem. So if you can tell more about that as well.
Okay. I think what you are referring is dominated by global players,
Right.
Are mostly the indexable players, right? And the space we are playing is the round cutting tools, right? And round cutting tools, we are the company which has so-called the tool holders, the cutting tools in carbide and high speed. And now we are also coming up even on a bottom construction tools, right? So coming to shaping up the future of our company around that, there is one technology which is actually catching up very fast. It's called 3D printing. And 3D printing is becoming a challenge for anyone who is into it. I will not say it will replace 100%, but net shape of the product through the 3D printing is reducing the material removal rate. That's number one. Number two, EV coming in, engines which consumes maximum from indexable is reducing. So I don't want to name big players. They also wanted now to be round tool company. So we are very decently placed, right? Obviously, there's a portfolio of a carbide, and that's something which we're expanding. Coming back to the opportunity side of it, 3C sector, the way it is catching up in India, we are today now the second largest producer of cell phones and also consumer of the cell phones, second largest consumer. Now entire cutting tool fraternity of India to start producing, they'll not be able to fulfill the tooling requirement of 3C sector. It is still at a very nascent stage. So we, all of us, have a huge game to play.
So could you be a little specific about the 3D printing role in your kind of segment?
We are, as I said, we are into round tool space, right? So 3D printing has now the metal and non-metal. There are a lot of other applications which are coming up, and so-called more. When we talk about metal cutting tools, this is more of a subtractive technology. So which means you take a material and then you remove it, bring the net shape. Whereas 3D printing creates the net shape, right? But now there is a technology which is coming up. We call it the additive manufacturing or hybrid manufacturing. So which means both the ecosystems coexist, and that's where it is coming up. So it is not that 3D printing is going to completely replace subtractive manufacturing. So both will coexist. There are certain applications which are good only can be catered to 3D printing, particularly the medical implant side. But otherwise, it is more on a prototype side.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.